helicopters collide mid-air.
Personnel responded out to the area of 100 Basin Road for 2 helicopters crashing.
One aircraft engulfed in flames, falling to the ground.
I'm Ray Strickland in Hamilton, New Jersey, with new details on the mid-air collision and the emergency response.
Also tonight, a new cross-country storm stresses the holiday rush home.
Blizzard warnings in the Midwest, winter advisories from Wisconsin to New Jersey. I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak with what you need to know.
At airports, delays and cancellations in the thousands, with millions on the move.
I'm Chanel Call at New Jersey's Newark Airport. Sunday was projected to be the busiest travel day of them all. Coming up, I'll have details on the holiday travel rush.
Diplomatic push.
I do believe that we have the makings of a deal.
I'm Willie James, and I'm traveling in West Palm Beach, Florida. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky arrived here seeking U.S. support for a revised peace plan. But will his concessions be enough to bring President Putin to the table?
Gas leak scare. A major California freeway shut down.
I'm Anders Gutierrez in Santa Clara, California. Traffic is moving once again on the busy I-5. That wasn't the case last night. New details tonight on the emergency.
All that, plus remembering Bridget Bardot, the world-famous sex symbol who renounced stardom, dead at 91.
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Sunday. We begin tonight in New Jersey, where at least one person was killed, another critically injured after 2 helicopters collided mid-air and crashed. It happened near the airport in the city of Hamilton, about 35 miles southeast of Philadelphia. CBS's Ray Strickland is there and leads us off tonight with the latest developments.
Jerika, we know tonight that one pilot is dead and another has life-threatening injuries after the helicopters they were operating collided mid-air here in South Jersey. Cell phone video shows one of the aircrafts plummeting out of the skies just before noon today. A plume of smoke was also visible from a distance after both of the helicopters crash landed, one of them going down in flames, according to first responders. The scorched remains of that chopper just a few hundred feet away from the other, where the surviving pilot was helped by a nearby homeowner who said he was responsive before being taken to the hospital. The FAA says each helicopter was being operated by a single pilot when they collided near the Hamilton Municipal Airport in New Jersey. And the NTSB is investigating, and we're expecting a preliminary report on the crash as early as tomorrow. Jerika?
Ray Strickland, thank you. Well, a new storm system is threatening to complicate post-holiday travel across this country. Tonight, people at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport are seeing it. This weekend, messy weather delayed or canceled thousands of flights, many of them in the Northeast. CBS's Chanel Call is at New Jersey's Newark Liberty Airport with more on that part of the story. Chanel.
And Jerika, the TSA says we could set a new record for the number of people passing through airport security today, but another cross-country winter storm is stirring up even more disruptions. Plows out in force, planes de-iced, and travelers socked in. Roughly 100 flights in and out of Minneapolis canceled, over 300 more delayed. Travel on the roads equally treacherous in the upper Midwest. The latest travel disruptions follow a massive storm that slammed the Northeast this weekend, delaying more than 20,000 flights and canceling nearly 3,000 more. The McGee-Osgun family finally departed Newark Liberty Airport today after they were left stranded yesterday.
We've used all of our time off and all of our savings so that the family can meet the baby. Honestly, I feel abandoned.
Travelers also advised to take extra precautions like masking up this year as cases of influenza surge across the country. 14 states reporting high or very high flu activity. New York State saw more than 71,000 cases ahead of the holiday, the highest ever recorded in a single week. And multiple airlines, including American, Delta, and United, are now waiving the fee to change or rebook flights that may be impacted by this inclement weather. So a good idea to check the forecast before you head to the airport. Jerika?
Absolutely, Chanel Call. Thank you. Tonight, an explosive storm is about to send chills across some 20 states. Let's check in with CBS News meteorologist Andrew Kozak.
Jerika, that Arctic air moving in from the north and that record heat across the south that we've been tracking, well, the clash of those two air masses bringing us a very dynamic system tonight. We have winter alerts stretching across 20 different states, including a blizzard warning for the upper peninsula of Michigan, places like Minnesota and Iowa. Winds gusting 30 to 60 miles per hour for dozens of states as this system moves through the country overnight tonight. The snow causing whiteout conditions, snow squalls for places like Detroit, and while the I-95 corridor, the major cities, may miss the worst of this, we are likely to see some icing and snow squalls right along the lakes as we move into your Monday. Bomb cyclone. You might have heard the term. It's kind of trending on social media. It's a storm that rapidly intensifies, pressure drops, damaging winds and heavy precipitation. This may become that. We're watching it very closely, but either way, we're looking at 1 to 2 feet of snow for the most that we're going to see across the upper peninsula where those blizzard warnings are. And tonight, even severe weather with numerous tornado warnings and a tornado watch across the Midwest. Jerika, back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Tonight, President Trump says Ukraine and Russia are closer than ever before to ending their war while insisting that Vladimir Putin is serious about peace this time. The president greeted Ukraine's leader, Volodymyr Zelensky, in Florida to discuss a revised plan. CBS's Willie James Enman is traveling with the president and has new details tonight from West Palm Beach. Willie James.
Jerika, good evening to you. Today, the president said it could be clear within weeks if the war in Ukraine can end. And earlier in the day, he spoke with President Putin of Russia, adding that he believes both Putin and Zelensky are ready for peace. Today, President Trump welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to his Mar-a-Lago home for what he says are the final stages of talks to end the nearly 4 years of fighting after Russia invaded Ukraine.
There are 1 or 2 very thorny issues, very tough issues, but I think we're doing very well.
The meeting taking place following a weekend of violence as hundreds of Russian drones and missiles pummeled Ukraine's capital, Kyiv.
If things don't happen, they keep fighting and they keep dying. And we don't want that to happen.
The 20-point U.S. peace proposal has been changed with input from Ukraine after an initial draft was criticized for including much of the Russian point of view. President Putin's demand list includes Ukraine giving up the Donbas region, the country's industrial heartland.
It's an issue they have to iron out. But I think it's moving in the right direction.
The Ukrainian leader said his nation cannot give up territory without a national referendum.
Our society has to choose and has to vote because it's their land, the land not of one person, it's the land of our nation.
Zelensky also says he wants security guarantees from the West and a commitment to protect Ukraine's sovereignty.
We agree that security guarantees is a key milestone in achieving lasting peace.
The two leaders also discussed an economic prosperity plan that extends to 2040 and includes investment opportunities and funding for rebuilding in Ukraine. The president will be heavily focused on foreign policy in the next few days, as he is also expected to sit down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday. And a key focus of that meeting between the president and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will likely focus on implementation of phase 2 of the Gaza peace plan, as well as the return of the remains of the last Israeli hostage. Jerika.
Willie James Emmett for us tonight. Thank you. Well, right now, utility crews in California are trying to determine the cause of a rupture in a massive natural gas line that forced a major interstate to shut down. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in Santa Clarita with more on what happened. Andres.
Good evening, Jerika. Traffic is once again moving on Interstate 5. This all began when people around here started smelling rotten eggs, then heard and saw the rupture.
It was very loud, big huge boom.
A massive gas leak north of Los Angeles brought Interstate 5, a major north-south corridor along the west coast, to a grinding halt. Natural gas spewed from a nearly 3-foot wide pipe.
We just hear a boom. The house rattles, shakes.
An urgent shelter-in-place order was issued to nearly 20,000 people living around Santa Clarita.
That is gas?
Apparently, it smells kind of like it as well.
Authorities warned residents to close doors, windows, and vents.
Everybody in the area could smell this large plume of gas. It looked like a gas cloud, and so that's why reports came in and they thought it was an actual explosion.
But SoCal Gas says there was no explosion and no one was hurt. It took 4 hours to get the leak under control, allowing the freeway to reopen. Now, this area did see more than 6 inches of rain during the Christmas atmospheric river, so much that SoCal Gas is now looking into whether all that water may have shifted the ground around that pipe. Jerika?
Andres Gutierrez, thank you. We learned today that Bridget Bardot has died. She was 91 years old. Bardot was a star of the still image as well as the moving one before becoming an animal rights campaigner and a controversial cultural figure. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer has a look back.
On screen, Brigitte Bardot oozed sex. In the button-down 1950s, she was a woman ahead of her time who took exactly what she wanted. Born into a comfortable Parisian family, young Brigitte was trained in ballet. But her dancing career ended in her late teens when she was discovered by the French director Roger Vadim. Her role in the movie And God Created Woman made her an international star. But even so, she denied she was a serious actress. Here she is at 22, talking to the BBC.
Do you really enjoy making this kind of film, or do you want to be a serious actress?
Oh no, I prefer this kind of film. I will be a serious actress when I will be older.
Throughout the 1960s, Bardot's heavy black eyeliner, pouty lips, and tousled hair made her a global style icon.
The young French star is also quite easy on the eye.
Do you want me? Je ne sais pas, but your loving eyes.
In fact, President Charles de Gaulle said she was as important a French export as Renault cars. Then suddenly, in 1973, she quit to focus on animal rights. I gave my beauty and youth to men, she told an interviewer. I'll now give my experience and wisdom to animals. Bardot was admired by many for her activism, the protests against luxury furs, and Canada's baby seal hunt. But a darker side emerged too. Bardot, the former sex kitten, veered hard right. She insulted gay men and Muslims living in France. She was found guilty 5 times for inciting racial hatred. But after more than 9 decades, 50 films, 4 husbands, and floods of scandal, Bardot remained unrepentant. They may call me a sinner, she said, but I am at peace with myself. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.